All right, it is time now once again for the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Mellis, but you can call me Eli for short. And who is this absolutely gorgeous, absolutely sexy, absolutely amazing lady to my right?
Well, hello all. I'm Dawn Ledgerwood, and I'm your girlfriend.
Boy, I kind of threw her off with my very lovely and kind.
I think that's what happened, yes.
Yeah. I was purposefully being a bit too much, baby. You know, I give you compliments when they're due, and I love you and all that, but, you know, this is a show. We've got to exaggerate some shit every now and then, right?
Well, of course, but I wouldn't say it's that much of an exaggeration.
But I'm really not exaggerating. I actually do feel that way, but it is kind of funny, right? And we're on YouTube on the video end of things and on the podcast network everywhere else, and people want to be entertained at least a little bit. They just don't want personal... what do you call boring personal development content. They want it supercharged.
Supercharged.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, welcome to another episode of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. This is episode number 41, and today's topic to end off the year is resolutions for a happy 2026 New Year. One more time, episode number 41 of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. The topic is resolutions for a happy 2026 New Year. Today's show is just going to be raw and real with no script, no stories to share, of others. We might share some stories within our families and stuff like that, but none of the Reddit stuff, nothing shown on screen, nothing scripted, just Dawn and I being raw and real, and we've got a bunch of great things to talk about and share with you to end off the year and to kick off 2026 with a bang, because finally, 2026 is definitely 100 million, billion, trillion % going to be the year of the GNA. We've been saying that for years. But I have no doubt that 2026 is going to be our year. We're going to share a little bit more about that in a little bit. But, don't you think, babe?
It's going to be a great year for the GNA, but I think it's going to be the year of Dawn and Eli. You know, y'all don't even have an idea of what's to come this year. I know Eli and I have been talking about a lot of upcoming things we want to do. So that's exciting. I look forward to all that. And I think we're going to have a good year on a personal basis. You know, Everything is going great for us. I'm looking forward to a lot of things happening this up and coming year. And we could share more about that later as we're talking. But just a lot of excitement and, just feeling really spirited for the new year.
I know that Dawn is very happy about our relationship, and so am I. And she made a big focus on it, and I love that about her. And I totally agree with her on everything she said. But I want to add to that and even further clarify that the reason why I started the GNA back in 2011, initially we were doing in-person networking, connecting entrepreneurs with other entrepreneurs. We also taught new entrepreneurs how to be a good entrepreneur. We also taught personal development, and personal development plays a big role when you're running a self-employed business. And personal development comes in handy in any job, but more so if you're running your own business, you're on your own. You have to know how to handle yourself, or you're going to be out of business, right?
Oh, yeah.
But and now we still help entrepreneurs, but we help anyone, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, or even if you're not working, regardless of your situation. We help people with their personal development. We help people work through the tough times up to a certain extent. If it gets to the point of where people need therapy or medication or something, then we will recommend to them to get the help through a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist or both. Having health insurance is critical. If you haven't already set up your health insurance, I mean, you're running out of time. This is being recorded on Sunday, December 28th, 2025. It'll be released on Wednesday, December 31st, 2025, New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's Eve to everyone. If you're watching this on that day, and happy New Year's to everyone that's watching it on New Year's Eve when it's released. And if you're watching it on New Year's Day or down the road, Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year 2026 from all of us here at the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. But I wanted to finish up and say that the GNA vision for me as the president and founder and the owner has always been about others. And I know it's the same thing for you. And I just wanted to add on to what you were saying. It's going to be a great year for us as a couple and all. I think that's what you meant. But as far as the GNA goes, it's going to be a great year for the entire organization and anyone that is involved. Go ahead. Do you want to add to that?
Oh, no, I'm fine. Go ahead.
You have nothing to add to that?
Oh, no, because I started it and you literally finished.
No, but I wanted to get your thoughts about, the organization is not just about us or about us. It's about everyone. We're just a part of it. We're the top two. I'm the president. Don's the vice president. She's the VP of operations. We work right alongside. And
we want to make it clear, though, that myself and the rest of the executive team are all volunteers.
For the time being.
For the time being. He's the only one that's actually
on. So let me put that out there, because I know the video of this goes out on YouTube, and we needed to make some clarity on YouTube regarding this, because some people that have been trolling us on YouTube like to question every little thing. So the GNA is an LLC. It's a limited liability company here in the state of California, where Don and I live. I am a single member LLC. I'm the only board member right now. So, if anyone has any issues with the GNA, the only one that's authorized to do something directly through the LLC is me. So if you have an issue with Don or any one of our other executives, or anything to do with the GNA, you have to come through me. Now, eventually, it may not be this year, it might not be the following year, but within the next year or two, we're going to add official board members. Don will be an official board member at that point. So will Tia, so will Sandra, and ODN, who was on the show last week. Thanks again for being on the show, ODN.
Yes,
ODN
thank you.
stands for Old Dirty Ninja. That's not his real name. That's his online persona. He is a real person. He's going to be a part of the official board as well. And at that point, you can still be volunteers, but we hope to have enough revenue generated by that point to be able to pay our board members. And even though, yes, we do eventually want to get part of the GNA as a nonprofit, there will always be a for-profit aspect of the GNA. But just so you folks know, our intentions are not here to try to siphon as much money from your pockets as possible. Our intentions are to truly make a difference in helping as many people as possible get the best possible grips on their lives, so that way they can accomplish whatever their hearts desire, whether it's personally or professionally or even both, because, they actually go hand in hand. How you behave personally can affect your professional life, and you've got to learn how to handle things better, especially in this day and age of social media, where things spread faster than the speed of light, in my opinion. I mean, it's just amazing how fast rumors get spread, misinformation gets spread, defamation gets spread, and so, you've got to learn how to manage that. And Don and I, over the years of doing this on YouTube, we've dealt with all that stuff. And it did affect us initially, and we did react and overreact initially, but we've gotten to the point of where we just understand it's part of the game per se. And we're not here to play a game, but when you refer to it's part of a game, it is the way it is. You can't control how other people, behave, react, or what they say or do. You can only control what you say, how you react, and what you do. Right, babe? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. You're only in control of yourself and your actions. Nobody else controls that.
Right. By the way, let me turn off the camera for a second so you can see the entire background there. Okay. You see the background there, baby?
I love the dog.
That's an Australian Shepherd. And it says Happy New Year 2026, and then the GNA star up top there. And yeah, isn't that nice?
That would be so cool if we could have Bochi and Buster's picture up there.
We could do that.
Can we do that?
I can make a background out of them.
Cool. We should do that.
We will. Let me see. Are we good? We are good. All right. Yeah. So, I just wanted to make that clear before we get into things here. We're going to talk about our New Year's resolutions, Don and I. We have some other things to update you folks on, regarding, 2025 and how good of a year it really was. I mean, we also had some interesting things happen. We might touch up a little bit on them. I've been talking a lot about my Circuit Civil case on YouTube. This is for the audio-only podcast. The people on YouTube already know this, but for the people that only consume our podcast, whether it's YouTube or throughout the entire audio-only network, we're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon's Music, your very favorite.
Oh, iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon's Audible. We're on YouTube's Music, and even many of the rest of the audio-only podcast network that is not as well known. You can Google search Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, and you'll see where we're there, audio-only. So for the people that don't follow us on YouTube, at least not yet, and you should, you can do that by going in the description section of any one of our podcasts, including this one, where we share the video version of that link. And that'll take you to the main channel where the video is hosted, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. And you can subscribe there and bang the bell and select the notifications so you don't miss anything. And then you go below in that description, a couple lines down is the link to our secondary live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. And you can click that link, get redirected there, and subscribe there, bang the bell, and select the notifications. And then you'll be able to, see and hear our content more than just once a week. And so, for the people that, are on the audio-only network or, like I said, just consume our podcast, we've been dealing with, a YouTuber and his entire community that has caused a lot of issues, defamation, copyright infringement, just a lot of stuff that's affected our reputation and affected our reach on YouTube. Our algorithmic reach has been affected by this group, specifically run by this one man. And we don't really want to get too far into it. We want to keep this show a positive one, but that's going to be part of our New Year resolution that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But we've been dealing with a lot of things, but we actually had a pretty good year, wouldn't you say, babe?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's start off by talking about the most important thing, at least regarding us here, since we're at the very top of the GNA. And we're not trying to say that all the other executives or anyone else is not important. You're all equally important, but as far as the hierarchy goes, the structure, we're at the forefront, and we do this podcast every week on behalf of our GNA. The most important thing to me, and probably many others that have followed us that know both you and I, is the fact that you got sober towards the end of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
In September of 2024, you had 3 cluster seizures. I believe it was September, 24th of 2024. You had 3 cluster seizures in one day. I've never seen that happen before. It scared me. It ended up hospitalizing you, and you were in there for 2 weeks. And while you were there, they decided to admit you. And, basically that acted as rehab pretty
Like
much.
a detox.
A detox, which is what they would normally do in a rehab facility, right?
Well, if I were to have just walked into rehab, yes, they would have done it there. But since I was already in the hospital and it was already a problem, they just did the detox
the hospital
right away.
is absolutely the best place to detox. Wouldn't you agree?
And to be tossed.
To be detoxed.
Oh,
to detox, not to be tossed. What?
I was like, well, yeah, that would be the best place is when you're drunk is to go to the hospital.
You know what? If you're trying to not give our haters any clips, I mean, I love you. It's all good.
I'm just talking. And if they want to make clips out of innocent words I'm saying, then have fun.
We're just having fun here. It's the end of the year. But what I was saying, let me slow it down a little bit and be a little more clear. The hospital is the absolute best place to go through alcohol detox.
Yes.
Better than any rehab facility. There's no better place for care technically than a good hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
So the fact that you had those seizures, you were admitted at our local hospital here, Sequoia Hospital, one of the best hospitals on the planet, probably the next best one to Stanford.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Sequoia Hospital is just amazing. You had great treatment there, and insurance covered it all. And I mean, God, thank God for insurance. Oh my God. I mean, this literally probably would have cost over $200,000 for the 2-week period, at least, maybe more, maybe $300,000-400,000. But you were able to detox, and then you just all of a sudden, you didn't feel the need to drink anymore, and I was just blown away. Another thing, you were going to go to an actual. We can talk about this now because we're all good. You were going to go to an actual rehab, inpatient rehab, but it was very difficult to coordinate that, and we kept getting mixed words from the people that ran a few of the rehab facilities that were covered by your insurance. Mm-hmm. And then I looked and found something, a local rehab center about an hour away from here that does, it's called VIOP, Virtual Inpatient Outpatient Program, meaning that you got to do it virtually from home.
Yeah.
Which still costs some money, but a lot cheaper than going into an actual facility. Yes. It was still about $30,000 for the virtual inpatient outpatient program. And the insurance approved that. It's medically necessary. They're going to approve it. Right.
Well, and those coordinators told me that I literally had the best insurance. They usually have to fight to get more time for their patients, but she's like, they'd give me another 6 weeks right now.
You do.
And I think I took an additional 3 weeks after that.
Yes. And you could have actually done it longer. The insurance approved you for even 3 more weeks, but you really didn't need it after that. You could have actually graduated sooner than you did, but you stayed a bit longer, and then you graduated the virtual inpatient outpatient program. You were able to do it right from the couch. What was it, 3 times a week, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Okay. And I was just I was so happy. I was just so proud of how far you've come. And a lot of people on the YouTube end of things have severely criticized you because, yes, in the past, we did some streams. And those were during the days. We got to be real about it now. You know what I mean? You were drinking because you were trying to mask the pain of what was going on in your family. And now you learned to understand it better, and you have more support from your family. And now the majority of your family has seen the turnaround, and everything is starting to work itself out on that end. But on my end, seeing the transformation and seeing you do something that I knew in my head and heart you were more than capable of doing. It blew me away. And
Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to mention this here today because, all of 2025, I mean, you've been sober now for 15 months, and, all of 2025, you turned things around. People were giving you shit about this on the YouTube end of things.
And that is not why I turned it around.
Well, no. I know that.
I'm just putting it out there to the
Oh,
world.
I know. You're correcting the record. I get it. I've been doing that a lot on the YouTube end of things lately. I have a feeling it's going to have to be done many more times. But anyway, a group of people on YouTube, the same group of people that I'm suing their main leader in a circuit civil case. And just for the people in the podcast, I mentioned this on YouTube already about a week ago, that I'm also going to be suing the same person in federal district copyright court because that both cases need to happen. This person has been exploiting me and wronging us in every way, copyright, defamation, and they both fall into different courts. One aspect is the state court. The other aspect, copyright, can only be filed in federal court. But in the past, they called wellness checks on us here, false wellness checks. They tried to tell the police that they were worried about you because
they weren't worried about shit.
We were broadcasting live on the way to the Jason Aldean concert 5 weeks before they made that wellness call. And because they hadn't seen you do some live streams in a while, they were worried about you, so they called a wellness check.
They weren't worried.
No, I know that. It was all for theatrics, right? We all know that. They're never going to admit that. I'm just putting it out there. And what I kept saying, once you got yourself clean, and once you came out of the hospital and got into the VIOP program, and initially you were gonna go into an inpatient, and you were gonna be away from the house for a while, and you didn't like that. When that all fell apart,
I don't like that.
It was like, you don't like that.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, that's in your night terrors. You say that sometimes. Your night terrors have gotten better. They still happen. But when you're sleeping and in the middle of the night, you say, I don't like that. And I'm like, what did I do? I've said that before on some past shows, and more so on the YouTube end of things. But I used to think, like, what did I do wrong? I'm just sitting here trying to sleep, and my woman is saying, I don't like she's having nightmares. They're professionally known as night terrors. And she got medication for that. And then the medication stopped them, so your psychologist got you off that medication. I think
psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist. Your psychiatrist got you off that. I think it was Prozac, and they came back. They're not as bad, so we're not going to put you on the medication again for that. They're a lot better. But the thing I'm trying to say is that I was telling people at the end of 2024 that watch, Don is going to come back at some point early on in 2025 and come back with a blast. What's that?
Yeah, it's just warm.
You're warm? So, are you going to make it?
I can make it to my bathroom break and I'll grab it.
Oh, you want to grab the fan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds fair. But I was telling people you're going to come back with a bang in 2025, and that group kept talking, and then you came back.
And then I came back.
And then you've been back.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I'm proud of you for, this is episode number 41. We've done this show 41 weeks straight. No matter what's going on, sometimes we've had things to do on Sundays. We'll record it a day earlier.
We did our podcast through my surgery. We didn't even miss one when I had surgery.
No, we did not. That was an outpatient surgery.
But still,
you had some pain to deal with regarding that, but go ahead.
I had surgery on Thursday and we recorded on Sunday.
Right. Right. And then, but you were given some medication.
For pain.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Dawn was prescribed Norco, which is hydrocodone acetaminophen, which it has some Tylenol in there, 325 milligrams, and then 5 milligrams of, like, what do they call it? Like hydrocodone, right?
Yes.
But then she was also prescribed oxycodone, which is commonly referred to as oxy. And here's the funny thing. A lot of the people in this
world in general.
No, but I got to tell you this, because I think I may have told you this before, maybe not as in much detail. This group of people that I'm suing their leader, there were a bunch of women in this group, and some of them are still around, some of them are not. But there were a bunch of women in this group that there was a story going around that, they were abusing oxycodone, which is oxy for short. And I was thinking to myself, it's like now Dawn has been prescribed oxycodone by her doctor. And I'm thinking to myself, she's been in a lot of pain. Dawn was complaining about pain. I was thinking she was going to be heavily reliant on oxycodone, and she did not abuse it. And I swear to God.
I think I took it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we still have some in the house.
But here's the thing. I believe you were able to take it like what? Once every 6 hours
6 hours.
So? 4 times a day. And I think you took it maybe once or twice a day initially. Yeah. And you can take it up to that level, but it's, PRN, like they say, as needed, right? And it's like I would go on my walk. It would be more than 8 hours. I'd come home and say, hey, babe, do you want an oxy? He's like, no, I'm good. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, right then and there, I never, ever, ever thought or accused my woman of having a substance problem. She did have an alcohol issue. And honestly, I don't even really think, in my opinion, it was an issue. I think it was something that she could have actually controlled on her own and stopped when she came to terms with it. But the thing is, there's alcohol. Even if she were to stop out of a hospital, the risk of death is high because of alcohol withdrawal syndrome, right?
Yes.
But besides that, what I'm saying is, and I really feel this honest to God, is that I really don't think you've ever had a substance abuse or alcohol abuse problem per se, but you still have to handle it correctly. Because honestly, if you had a substance abuse problem, you were in a lot of pain after your surgery. You could have been swallowing those oxys every 6 to 8 hours.
With the beer.
What's that?
With the beer.
Yeah. Well, you had stopped, obviously drinking.
But yeah, that's my point. It shows that I don't have that addicted personality. Because if I was, I would have went right back to drinking. Right.
And so, this is the biggest deal to me here. This is what makes me proud of Dawn. This is why I'm with her. This is why I love her. This is why I'm going to marry her. This is why she's the vice president of the GNA, because she is the perfect example, role model of a GNA member, of what the GNA is all about. A lot of these people on YouTube have said, I've exploited my lady and her family for content. That's not what I did. It may have come off that way to her or her family initially, but I think she knows now that that wasn't the point, and it wasn't the point. For me, it's always been about helping people, helping families, helping people overcome their setbacks, overcome their issues, so everyone in the family and in the group can be happy. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the only way to get to that point is to just call people out, even if it's family, even if it's your closest friends. You're not going to start turning things around and making the change until you either A, decide to do it on your own, which most people don't do it on their own. They need to be kind of pushed to it, or definitely pushed to it, right?
Yeah.
Right? And they need support regardless, right? So either, you got to do it on your own, which rarely happens, or someone needs to step in and say, hey, I love you. I don't want to see you die. You got to do this.
Yeah. And, I want to touch back on what you said, that you didn't feel that I really had a problem with alcohol because I just drank beer. Well, years before I met you, I was up at my parents' house and I was talking to my dad, and he's like, yeah, I really don't see it being a huge problem because you're not drinking hard alcohol.
You're not. You never did.
But that is
rarely.
Huge misconception. Alcohol is alcohol in any shape or form. So I own that I was, addicted to the beer. I was. And I could tell because I would get the shakes. And I didn't have them. I haven't had them since I've been sober.
Since you got out of the hospital.
Yeah, I haven't had the shakes at all.
Here's the thing. I'm not a doctor. I'm just stating my opinion from common sense and what I've read and learned. And you've been a nurse, so you will understand this. Is that the difference between beer and hard alcohol is the level of alcohol. Beer has far less alcohol. Here's the thing. You have been to your doctors. You had full physicals. Your liver is perfectly intact.
Yes.
And here's the thing. This is my guess. My guess on why your liver is still intact, even though you drink a lot of beer. Because even if you drink, let's say, 6 beers a day at 9.5% alcohol, let's round that up to 10% to make it, let's say, 60%, right? One shot is 40% alcohol. Like all the beer that you were drinking, and let's say in a day, equaled 1.5 shots. Let's say you had 5 to 10 shots of hard alcohol. Your alcohol level would have been far superior, and your liver would have been messed up.
Well, and see, that's the thing you see a lot of people doing at the bar is they'll order a beer and they'll be having their beer and then they'll order a shot.
And they'll chase it with a shot, which is the worst thing you can do.
And then another beer and chase it with another shot.
Right.
And they think that they're not drinking so much, but it's all the same. Whether it's 9% or 40%. It's alcohol.
Now, when it comes to alcohol withdrawal syndrome,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter whether it's beer or alcohol or hard stuff. It matters. It's the dependency. Your body, even if you're not dependent on it anymore, your body becomes dependent on it.
Yes.
And that's what could cause life-threatening seizures.
And that's where the cravings come from.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Intense cravings.
But here's the thing. You've had the best medical care through Sutter Health Palo Alto Medical Foundation, which pretty much hires Stanford doctors. And Stanford Hospital in Palo Alto is literally 10 minutes away from us here. You've had the best care. You've been, under the knife, meaning, surgery. You've had many CTs, CAT scans, many MRIs. I'm not even going to try to remember magnetic resonance. I can't remember. Imaging, magnetic resonance, something like that. Imaging, MRI, and CTs, CAT scans, right? And that's short. It stands for, I've got Google here. CT stands for, what's the full meaning of CT? Computed tomography.
Mm-hmm.
Computed tomography and MRI stands for, let me see. Magnetic resonance imaging. Yeah. Okay. So you've had a ton of MRIs, you've had a ton of CTs, you've had surgery,
X-rays.
You've had colonoscopies, you've had things in
endoscopies.
And
I had them on from the top and from the bottom.
Right. You've had mammograms. They've checked your liver. They've checked your lungs. You've had 2 neurologists, 2 of the top neurologist doctors on the planet. And here's the thing. I remember your neurology doctor. Do you remember you went in to get a CT
Oh, an MRI.
Oh, it was an MRI. And because you have this bladder stimulator now that helps you out with that, because you've had some issues with your bladder, but this has corrected it. Because even with, you turning off your bladder stimulation and putting it in what's called MRI mode, they couldn't do your MRI there. You had to go to Sequoia Hospital where they have the special machine for your situation with your bladder stimulator. And
this was after about 6 weeks of trying to get it approved?
Yes. And you were really, really triggered.
It would have been my first MRI that I know of.
Yeah.
And
the rest of them we got at Sequoia Hospital, and they were approved there through the insurance because they were medically necessary, and they didn't have the right machine at Palo Alto Medical Foundation Sutter Health.
Yeah, but my issue was it was the first time. I'm super claustrophobic. Yeah. And so I had already started my anxiety, and I took the Ativan that they gave me.
Called lorazepam.
Yes.
Is generic for Ativan or something, right?
Ativan is the generic name for lorazepam.
So lorazepam is the actual, Ativan is what is commonly referred to as a generic name. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and so I was all ready, and they're telling me no. And I got very, very angry.
Yeah, Ativan is a little bit more powerful than what they give, what you would take now as needed daily, if needed daily, hydroxyzine, right?
Yes.
So Ativan is a little bit more powerful. You use that before you go under the MRI machine. And the doctors, you always just let them know, I'm having an MRI. Can you prescribe me 1 or 2 Ativans? Okay, no problem.
Well, and they ask you that when you're scheduling the MRI, if you're claustrophobic and have spoken to your doctor about medication. So yeah, it was the first time that I knew I had one. Now I say that because in the hospitals, I don't know what has been done back in 2014 or now this current time. So it was my only conscious one. So I was really nervous.
But let me tell you, I don't mean to interrupt, but we were in San Carlos, which is where your
pretty much everybody.
Well, your main doctor is in Mountain View, but the primary care physician, the PCP, but your neurologist, a very nice lady, very professional, very experienced. Your main neurology doctor, and then she referred you to another specialist for other things. A good man. You were upset, and we're not going to mention the doctor's name, but you went to the desk and you asked for your neurology doctor. You were so pissed off. You asked, and I think it was because she was the one that
ordered it.
She ordered it.
She needed it done before I went to go see the next doctor.
And you almost got escorted out by security.
Oh, security came.
Security came.
Which wouldn't be the first time security's been called on.
I was trying to calm Dawn down. And I was saying, listen, I don't want you getting arrested here, right? So Dawn goes to the neurology desk and asks for her neurology doctor. And unbelievably, she was available and came out and gave Dawn a hug and walked back over with Dawn to the MRI center, and they explained that it cannot be done for this, and we're going to reschedule it at Sequoia Hospital. And she helped you reschedule it. She said, send me a message through the portal, and we'll get it approved, and we'll take care of it. I honestly, we need to send her something. All these doctors, we're going to send them something in 2026 when we have more money. It's been a money issue for us because we've had to spend money elsewhere, but it was unbelievable. She had no appointment during that time. And even when they don't have appointments, they have other things. They have, emails, messages to get back to, and other clerical work that they have to do. I mean, they can dish a lot of that off to their assistants, but they still have to do
they have
something.
Charting to do and writing out orders and
prescriptions and all that stuff. They typically will do it. Actually, now what's great is they'll prescribe it.
They'll do it in the room with you.
We'll do it right there because they can do it online, and it goes right to wherever you want to send it to. Everything's all digital, which is great. It's fast and easy. And insurance is is interlinked with that. So boom, it gets auto approved, and you just go and pick it up. That's great. Back in the days, let me write you the prescription, and then you got to go take the prescription to the pharmacy, and
then you got to wait for them to
you
fill
either got to
it.
wait that day, or then you got to come back again. Now it's just boom. That's great, right?
Mm-hmm.
The digital world is
and
that
if your pharmacy doesn't have the medication, they call you right away,
or
they'll find it for you at another store,
like a CVS. Oh, it's available at our San Carlos location. If you want, no problem. Transfer it over there. We'll go pick it up.
Yeah,
same insurance, everything automatic. That's the great part of the digital world. The social media is where all the shit's happening. That's where.
It's so great now. All of your medical files are digital.
They're all digital.
It was so difficult back in the day when you would change doctors and need to get all of your medical history.
And
it was really hard to get those paper copies. It would take a while. Mm-hmm. You could get them, but it would take a lot longer.
Yeah.
Now you send a message to your doctor and boom. That day you'll have an email with PDFs galore.
Yeah. But your neurology doctor came out all calm, came out right away and helped you out. And I was blown away. I sent her a message. I thanked her for that. I said, that's going above and beyond. God bless you. I mean, I was so blown away. The amount of care that you've gotten from Sutter Health Palo Alto Medical Foundation and all of the doctors and physical therapists and physician assistants, PAs, and whatever else they have there. Everyone has been nice at every location we've been to. And here we are at the end of 2025. And look at you.
Look at me, guys.
I mean,
I'm happy and I'm healthy and I love my life and I just want to keep living. Just live.
And the only thing right now is we're waiting for her clavicle to fully heal. We have an appointment in like a week and a half with the doctor that did the surgery. And at that point, we're going to see. It wasn't fully healed the last time. It's gotten a lot better. There's not as much pain, but it's not fully healed yet. And you have a bone growth stimulator that you put gel on, and it acts kind of like an ultrasound.
Yeah,
like they use for women to see the baby when they're pregnant, right?
Yeah, but it's a different kind. The frequency of the ultrasound is different than you would use on a baby. Yeah, it's not for
image reading. It's for actually bone growth stimulating. Yeah. And you use a different type of compounding gel on it, right?
No, the gels are pretty much the same. It has to be a special, like you can't go to the grocery store and buy hair gel.
You're not going to use hair gel on an
ultrasound.
It's on an ultrasound.
Yeah,
machine.
You have to have a specific.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. A specific kind that's compounded for that. But it's very easily found. You found some on the internet, no problem, on Amazon, right?
Yeah, and it's working just fine. But
I have that, and I have my physical therapy, which, oh my God, talk about, like, there's a group of 3 of them that work all in coordination, and those 3 ladies are just amazing. And they're always on the same page. They know exactly what's going on with me each time I walk in the room. And so I really appreciate that. Like, she'll still ask me how I'm doing, but she'll see my past progress already and just kind of want to know how the week's gone or 2 weeks. So, she's just working on this top area to build more muscle around the bone. So that's where we're working now. But they're all fantastic, and I love how all the teams work together, whether it's neurology or primary and, the surgical team. Everybody is on the same page.
Absolutely.
Even down to my therapist, which is not part of Palo Alto Medical Foundation. So,
well, she's within your
my
insurance network.
But she's not through PAMP. He's moving the rug down there because he wants to get comfy. The dog likes to sleep underneath the desk where usually you tuck the chair
I
in.
have a rug underneath there.
And there's a rug, and he'll scratch it up. And we have an additional
table that we bring here for the podcast that's longer, so both Don and I can,
be at the table.
Yeah, be at the table.
But he goes under there, and he scratches the rug, and then he turns around in circles, and then he'll lay down.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, that's how dogs are. But before we take your first and only break today, and I know you're going to grab that other little pan and put there.
Actually, I might not, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll take my break though. Starting to come up.
Do you have another few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to finish this up and say that this was never about exploiting my lady for content. I would never do that. We share stories here at the GNA to encourage people to better themselves. And it's really sad to me that some people in drama groups on YouTube will take things way out of context purposefully, or maybe that's how they just feel. And if that's how they feel, then there's something else cognitively wrong with anyone that thinks that way. But I think it's more so whatever works for their content cycle. They try to paint me as commercially exploiting you. And I'm like, she's my lady. Like, I love her. I take care of her. She takes care of me. We're family. We share our resources, finances, everything. What would be the reason to exploit my own woman?
I don't know.
I mean, I just don't even and anyway, but Dawn, and this is hard to say without, I'm not trying to take credit. Dawn did this all on her own. But truth be told, I did do a lot of work because I love her, and I did encourage her, and I was there. And I'm not saying that because I want credit. I don't care about the credit. What I want people to know is what Dawn does and what I do to help people. What I did to help Dawn turn her life around is what Dawn and I both are capable and more than capable of doing to help people. And despite what any other people on the internet say about us not being capable or qualified, they're wrong. Listen, we're not doctors. We're not trying to act like doctors. We're people that have good attitudes. Do we have our moments? Have we said some things that are mean? Sure, who hasn't? But our primary character, our main character is to be good to people. We treat people the way we'd want to be treated. And what I did for Dawn, I would do for anyone that needs the help, that would appreciate the help, right? And Dawn, like I said, she did most of it on her own, but there has to be somebody there that nudges someone.
I needed a push,
right?
And I needed the reason. I'm not saying that nobody ever tried to push me before, but he gave me a good reason. He opened my eyes to see what my life could look like if I just stopped drinking. He showed me how wonderful and memorable my life can be. And I can actually be here for something rather than just be empty space, which is what I thought I was. So I didn't care that I was drinking myself to death. And to see how much he fought for me, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, that was the push. I said, I'm worth it now.
And that's one thing I should also correct the record publicly, even though this will be on YouTube through an actual YouTube-only video, because a lot of people, like I said, they've accused me, and I know a lot of it's just for content and show, but these people reach a lot of people, and then the misinformation gets out there. And everything that was done here was for the right reasons. It wasn't to exploit anyone or anything. But
no,
now
we wanted to use me and my struggles as an example to help get people through maybe something similar that they're going through. We wanted to give them, a place where they could come and just feel safe and not feel judged by their actions. And so that's why we shared my story. I felt it was very important for people to know the seriousness of alcoholism. And I didn't even realize I was doing that at first while I was drinking.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I stopped that I realized that's what I'm here for. I'm here to show people that they can make change.
I told you.
Oh, I know. But like I said, you've always need to be ready to accept what's being told to you.
Yeah. What I wasn't going to say that. That was nice what you said. What I was going to say is I told you that this is your purpose. Your purpose is to help people. You were a nurse, right? And at some point, when we get the money and we pay the fees, you could become a nurse again and get your license again. But we're probably going to go a different route. This is your calling to help people. This is what the GNA does. This is why you and I work, because GNA or not, YouTube or not, this is just how we are in the real world. This is how we are with our friends and our family. Forget about YouTube for a second. Forget about the GNA, any business or anything like that. Us as people, this is who we are. And because we've been running this on the internet, and again, there are so many people, and they're gonna run their mouths, and a lot of times they're gonna lie as their content. You got to stand up and defend yourself. We're here to say, don't listen to what the haters say. Don't listen to the negative reviews. You go check it out for yourself, and you decide for yourself. And if it happens to not be good, then you can say, well, those negative reviews happen to be right in this case. But you can't automatically all of a sudden, you can't automatically all the time automatically assume that when people say negative things that it's 100% true. You can't do that. And on social media, when you have a group of people that are smearing your name and your reputation and all that, and they're doing it amongst several creators in a group, mob group style, like acting in concert and all that, it's very easy to spread that out there and make it believable for even new people that are coming in. That's why we're in court, to stop all that stuff. But babe, yeah, excellent. I'm glad, we took the first 52 minutes of the show to talk about this. You can go take your break. Give me a second. Let me turn off. Hold on before you go. And when you get back, we're going to take the last 25, 30 minutes, and we're going to talk about some resolutions and
Wonderful.
Coming up in 2026. So let me hold on. Let me turn off the camera. All right, go ahead, babe. People will be able to see on the YouTube side of things the Happy New Year 2026 Australian Shepherd dog with the clock on top of its head. All right, everyone. While Dawn is out taking her break, let me remind all of you that if you're listening to us on the audio-only podcast networks such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon's Music, my lady's favorite, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible, YouTube's Music, or anywhere else that this is on the unknown or not as popularly known audio-only podcast networks. If you're listening to us there and you would like to view the video version on YouTube, that link is in the description section of this podcast. And every other podcast has the link to that podcast's YouTube version with video. It's the same exact audio, just with video. We actually extract the audio from the video for the audio-only podcast. You can click that link. That'll take you back to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. When you go there, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. Then also go below in that description section of that video, and a couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming channel, which is GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. When you go there, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. On that channel, I go live very frequently, multiple times a week. Usually, if not every day, almost every day, I'll do at least a Walking with Purpose stream. Sometimes I'll do in-studio live streams. Sometimes Don and I will do live streams from the couch on mobile on the couch with Don and Eli. Sometimes we'll do a mobile driving with purpose stream. We've got driving with purpose, walking with purpose. We've got on the couch with Don and Eli. We've got navigating the modern world with Eli, live from the studio, and navigating the modern world with Eli, walking with purpose, and all that. We've got a lot of great stuff happening here. We're good people. We're here. We're on your side. We're on the good side of everyone. What we fight against is BS, drama, stupid things that people now have taken primarily away from the real world and put it online. We're just, we're here, and we're here to make people aware of what's really going on the internet and how to best handle yourselves, because it can get pretty bad. And there have been people that have taken their lives over it, because it's gotten that bad. We want to make sure that no one ever gets to that level. But Dawn is about to pop on back in, and we're going to wait for her to get her headset on. Hang on a second. All right. Are you back, babe?
I'm back.
Let's turn on the camera. All right, we're good. How was your break?
Oh, quick and fast, but it was good.
You didn't need the fan. That's all good.
Yeah, no, it started to cool off in here. I think it was right when we sat down.
Yeah, there's a heater vent in here. I turned it off. It just needed to.
Yeah.
The heat needed to escape, and I got the fan. It's starting to cool off a little bit, so it's the right temperature.
Mm-hmm.
But if I keep that vent off for too long, then it'll get too cold. So you gotta manage it. But anyway, so we are at 57 minutes. We're gonna wrap this up in about 23 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. Let's talk about New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
And let me ask you first, for yourself personally, have you decided what your New Year's resolutions are, and what are they?
First and foremost, to stay sober and healthy.
Amen. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that.
Thank you.
I had to, just because I have the button. No, because you deserve an applause.
Thank you.
Go ahead, my love.
Thank you.
Sure.
I also want to work on my relationships with people that are good and are still rocky. The good ones, I'm just continuing the good faith with them. They see what's going on and all the improvements in my attitude and just my outlook on life.
Mm-hmm.
And so those relationships, I'm just keeping that up. And the other ones, I'm going to work harder on repairing that.
Amen.
And just having a very good, positive, prosperous year for the two of us. The two of I. Ha ha ha. No, the two of us.
Two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
You and I. Okay, we did that perfect, and then he's got to go back.
I'm trying to do the saxophone. Go ahead, baby.
Keep practicing, babe.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good year, and I have so many good feelings, so many good plans that I have in my head that he doesn't even know we're going to do. I just, it's going to be a year of us spending more time doing things that's completely
we're
away
hanging
from
out with my aunt. Before this gets released, we're hanging out with my aunt tomorrow. And cousin. And we're going to be going down to San Jose, where they have
Christmas in the park.
And they have some nice restaurants there. And I've been meaning to spend some more time with my aunt and get Dawn more involved with my aunt. Dawn loves my family, my mom, my brother, and and
I had such a
my
good
brother's
time on
girlfriend.
Christmas.
And then she loves Auntie Lisa because Dawn is a lot.
We have the same humor.
Yeah, they're very similar. I think Auntie Lisa would get along very well with your mom. I think that Auntie Lisa would give your mom and her New Yorker attitude. Back in the day, she's gotten better. A run for her money.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, if you know, and I'm not going to say if when, because one day your family will meet everyone on this end here. But when your mom and Auntie Lisa get together, oh man. Oh man. And last time we saw your mom at Thanksgiving, like your mom is calmer than that. Like your mom is like, I don't need drama anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom in essence is saying, I've had enough drama, including family drama, because there's family drama. Oh, there's still family drama. There will always be in every family, right? But your mom is like, fuck this shit. And your mom has gone to bat for your mom. I'm so proud, you know. And I said it in the past, and everyone on YouTube that was around during that time knows. I did talk some shit about your family, including your mom and everything else. I retracted that. That's how I felt then. I can't take that back. And it was all to protect Dawn because of what she was going through. But now her mom has seen it, and she understands, and everything is good. I'm just so happy at how things have turned around for the better. But here's the thing. I firmly believe that in order for things to get better, someone has to do the dirty work. Someone has to call people out, including family. I firmly believe, whether I was right or wrong, which I don't know, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, whether I was right or wrong, I firmly believe that calling people out and doing all that, it gets things rolling. And to me, to see where you're at today, it was all worth it. I would do it all over again. But I'm happier with where it's at now. Like your mom is like a teddy bear now. She used to be like a tiger. She used to be like a tiger or a lion or a bear.
Oh my.
Yes. Lions and tigers and bears, right?
Oh my.
Oh no. Or oh my, right, yeah. And now your mom is like a little teddy bear, you know, like a little plush teddy bear. And I'm just so happy for it. But yeah, your resolution, you're saying you want to continue the sobriety, which is a good thing. You want to better your relationships with people. Same here. I think working on bettering our relationships with people is always a great resolution. What else?
You know, it's just about reconnecting with people. I have friends that are out of this area, and I'm not talking about Hollister, that I want to get out and I want to see more. I want us to travel around California, see things. I want us to actually be able to go on more hikes since I've been feeling better. So I'm looking forward to this year as being a very good year for myself and for us.
And you know, I'm going to say I'm not concerned as much about the seizures. I mean, they're always going to be a concern. They are. I mean, what I'm more concerned right now is because you have respiratory issues, and that's always going to be with you. And you know, I'm just saying this because, you know, we went and got some food the other day, and we had to go up a hill. And by the time we got up the hill, it was literally maybe a half a mile or a quarter mile. You were out of gas. I'm telling you, when you go on a hike, if you go on a 3-4 mile hike out and back, there's no one out there. So if something happens out there, you can kiss it goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that unless you are as close to respiratory healthy. And this is not your fault.
No. This is not, it has nothing to do.
This has nothing to do with me not wanting to take you on a hike.
Oh, no. And it has nothing to do with my drinking, and it has nothing to do with the smoking. I've had respiratory issues for pretty much most of my life. I mean, I remember them starting around 10, 12-ish when I started to get really bad sinus infections and all the drainage and coughing and all of that, which slowly developed into some asthma. And we didn't know it was asthma back then. Like they just treated the infection and moved on.
Right.
And so there wasn't too much like concern over my lungs. And so I probably should have been on some albuterol from early on. But still the continuous sinus infections, sleep apnea, all of that just decreased lung volume. And then when I got pneumonia in 2014, that took whatever lung volume I had and decreased it by like 10%. And I mean, it was like 85% that my oxygen level was 85, got down to 80.
And that will affect you when you're walking or hiking.
It'll affect you mentally. You'll feel like a brain fog.
Not
almost.
Just mentally, you'll physically collapse.
Yeah. You feel like your brain fogs up.
Yeah.
And then that's all I can tell you. Because I don't remember anything else.
But here's the thing. It doesn't mean we can't do walks and stuff. The thing is, this is not me trying to control or restrict Dawn. This is, any doctor would tell her this. I don't think we should ever do a walk or a hike that is more than a mile away from getting emergency services if we need it.
Yeah, I'm not talking about going like up to Tahoe or going up into any elevations. I'm talking like some of these.
We did do that. That was the first time you had a seizure.
Was up in Tahoe.
And I didn't even know that. I thought you were dead. I was freaked out. You were foaming at the mouth, and the bottom line is you had a seizure, and then we got you out of. We were only a quarter of a mile out of the way in, and we got you. Called the ambulance. You didn't want to go to the local hospital, and then that was that. That was the first time. And then when it happened again, I can't remember the second time. Oh yeah, we were going to go and do another walk, and you were feeling uneasy, and then I basically, held you and walked you out. Nothing happened that day, but yeah, it's been an interesting and scary experience.
I think the next one was after I went and saw that doctor in Hollister. When we were moving my stuff.
Yeah, and then you were hospitalized at the local hospital in Hollister, which I heard, I guess, is closing.
Well, that's the last that I heard, that I've seen actual reports. And Cheryl hasn't given me an update.
It's called Hazel Hawkins, and it says hours, open 24 hours.
Well, that's good.
And their website still works.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to close Hazel Hawkins.
I don't think they're closing it anytime soon. I think they might be downgrading the hospital to non-emergency.
Why
hospital.
would they do that? That's the best emergency hospital in Hollister.
It's the only emergency hospital in Hollister.
Right, but honestly,
the other emergency hospitals, you would go to Gilroy, which is 30 minutes, or you would go to Salinas, which is also 30 minutes.
The opposite way.
And so,
yeah.
if they couldn't treat you at Hazel Hawkins, then they would airlift you to another hospital.
Hazel Hawkins is a full-blown hospital, just like Sequoia Hospital. They may not
have the doctors that are as acclaimed as some of the others.
They have all the same stuff. It's just that the only difference there is the staff. That's it. And quite frankly, yes, I would rather go to Sequoia Hospital than Hazel Hawkins. But if that was the closest hospital to save my life, if necessary, I'd say take me to Hazel Hawkins. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I just think maybe they will downgrade it to like an urgent care. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, have the ambulances to go out of the area.
Yeah.
And continue with the helipad.
Okay. What else? Do you have any other New
Oh,
Year's resolutions?
I don't think so.
We got about 10 minutes before we need to
I'm
wrap
pretty
this up.
simple. I just really want health and happiness for all. I want all of the chaos to stop. But I'm not going to sit here and sound like I'm Miss America. I know world peace isn't coming. That's ridiculous. I just wish that we all can get along better as
Yeah.
a world, as a country, and just as humans. Um, you know, he talked about all of the women wanting to talk about me being on Oxy and all this stuff. And you know what? As I've grown older as a woman, I don't attack women like that. We are women and we need to stand together. And the more you attack other women shows more of your insecurities of your own self. You know, don't sit there and just judge because you have no idea what that person is going through.
Right.
So I'm just trying to live my life with that kind of mentality.
Absolutely.
But
Amen.
do you want me to say what I wanted to say with my last quote? Because this is what we're starting.
Well, I'm going to say my resolution.
Okay. I just
or
didn't
resolutions first, and then we're going to have you wrap up with that.
Okay, perfect.
So anything else about resolutions, babe, or do you mind if I get to
go
mine?
right to it, baby? I want to hear yours.
One of my big resolutions, and I already started to do it this year, but I really hope we can grow bigger in 2026, and I feel we will once these court cases start having some hearings and, some real relief starts to come from the court regarding a lot of the stuff we've been dealing with on YouTube that's affected us from reaching the right audience. But I really want to focus more on cutting out the outrage from the internet. Like, I don't think it's ever going to fully go away, but I really want more and more people to be aware of the reason why you see so much outrage on the internet. And a lot of it is amped up. A lot of it is a bunch of lies and hate purposefully done because that attracts the audience, and then that gets you ad revenue, that gets you donations, that gets you sponsors. If I was a sponsor, I would never sponsor any hateful content. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't sponsor any outrageous type of content. But a lot of sponsors do sponsor them because that's where a lot of the people go, and those people still spend money, and that's what I want to change is the outrage cycle. And Chris Cuomo on News Nation, we've talked about him a lot here on the podcast and a lot about him on YouTube. He's been trying to change that too. And him and I are the only two that are talking about it. And then maybe you as a third. Like, we're the only two entities. Like, if we look at Chris Cuomo and if we look at Don and I, we're the only two entities per se that are talking about this. Because the rest of the people, they might know it, but they're like, hey, if we get rid of the outrage, we're out of business. We stop making thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions in some cases. We lose our audience and we lose everything that we've built up. Well, have you really actually built up something, or did you just start talking shit one day and making shit up, right? And just doing outrageous things that you wouldn't ever do in the real world if it wasn't for making money off of that on the internet. Like, are you really creating something? I mean, and that's what Chris Cuomo said. Is this really creating something? Is it really something that's helpful to people? I mean, all it is at the very best, and I hate to even say this, a lot of people see this as entertainment. And I don't see people fighting and talking shit about each other as entertainment. I don't. Do you?
No.
But a lot of these people see it because we got indoctrinated into that culture 20 plus years ago with the Jerry Springer show. Remember the Jerry Springer?
Don't get me started.
Right.
That shit was ridiculous.
You had the Jerry Springer show. You had Maury. You had
Montel.
Ricky Lake, Montel Williams. I like Montel.
Yeah, Montel.
Montel's the man. Come on.
That
He's got
head.
the cool ball.
That head. Yep.
Yep.
You know me in bald
Yep.
men.
He's the cool African-American guy, you know.
Yeah. I love bald heads on men.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just one of my things.
You know, there were so many. I like Geraldo. And even though I believe Geraldo's more Republican, he's also a News Nation correspondent. Geraldo Rivera. And he used to do those specials back in his younger days, 40 years ago. I think Geraldo, let me see, how old is Geraldo Rivera? I bet he's like 78 or 80. Geraldo Rivera, 82 years old.
Wow.
Okay? So if we're looking at, I'm 51. At age 10, you know, Geraldo was 41 years old or something like that, 40, 41. So when Geraldo was in his younger days, that dude would do those specials, and he would go into the underground areas where people were doing like meth and stuff like that and shooting up heroin and all that. And then he almost got shot up with heroin on one of the specials. Like, no. Geraldo, mad respect. I believe he is more on the right, but I don't care because I like him anyway, right? He's nuts. That dude has balls. I mean, I'll tell you, that dude is one of the best journalists I've seen, and that's why News Nation hired him, and that's why Chris Cuomo has him on as a contributor every now and then, because I respect his work.
Yeah, I actually respect him a lot because I did think that he did a lot of those crap talk shows and instigating the drama, but to see how his career has gone and now the seriousness that he takes is very mature, and I can appreciate it.
He worked on Fox News Channel, Fox News from 2001 through 2023. So he's obviously on the right, but I think he even got tired. Fox News, I got to say, like, they blame everyone else for being the misinformation capital of cable news, but they are. Fox News, and that's why probably Geraldo left and went to News Nation. It's a more neutral station where right and left come to be reasonable, like Chris Cuomo said. That's the best thing.
It's around the same time Chris got fired from CNN.
It was around the time that Chris Cuomo got fired from CNN. So that 2023, fired from CNN in December of 2021 for his involvement in advising his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, during his sexual harassment scandal. What a big joke that was. Like, I swear to God, that was, man. and because Chris, who actually has a law degree, is an attorney, but I don't think he's ever practiced, because he's been a journalist. He's making more money. He's enjoying more of what he's doing, but he knows the law, and he was just trying to help his brother. And they fired him.
Yeah, and I think that was just a family thing. They're all in that kind of, they're all in the law life, all of them.
Yeah.
So I think he just followed suit with his father and his brother, and he just decided journalism would be a more, favorable job for him.
News Nation, they have a lot of great, and I love all the people on News Nation. I'm not trying to say they're not good, but as far as the owners and managers of News Nation, like, I can tell, like they give Chris freedom of reign, and Chris respects it. He doesn't overdo it really much, but he has a lot of flexibility because Chris Cuomo is News Nation. In my opinion, Chris Cuomo is News Nation.
That's why he has the 5 p.m. slot.
Well, it's 8 p.m. Eastern. It's the 8 p.m. slot, but we're 5 Pacific.
But that's the prime time.
He has the best slot. No, he has the best slot. And he earned it. And everybody that works there respects Chris, knows Chris is humble, and he is such a humble, respectful guy. But he also has no tolerance for bullshit. And that's what I love about Chris. And he brings a dynamic to News Nation and to just cable news unlike anything I've seen. And when he's not there and someone fills in, it's just not the same. Go ahead.
No, that's fine.
One more thing. We're at an hour and 19 minutes. We need to wrap this up in just a few. I'm sure the dog's going to want to go out in a few. Another thing I really want to resolve, and I'm hoping some resolve is made in these court cases. I'm just really tired of the stupid stuff that this one group of haters on YouTube, led by the guy that I'm suing, continues to do. I really just hope that they just start to back off, or the court at one of the hearings we have coming up in February, and then in April, and then also in April, May, when I get my copyright certificates that I filed recently, I'm going to be filing a secondary case on this defendant because, he's exploiting the gap of what I can sue for in the civil circuit case, which is defamation of character, intentional infliction of emotional distress, malicious prosecution, and abusive process. He's majorly violating my copyright by rebroadcasting my entire streams as I'm live. And he's making lots of donations doing it to the hate audience. He's running watch parties. I can't sue for that in the state circuit civil case because jurisdiction for copyright is only in the federal district court, only in federal court, because it's a federal, copyright's a federal program. So I have to file another case. And, my resolution that I'm hoping for is that we can resolve this long before it has to go much further. Whatever that means to that defendant or his group or anyone else, there are ways to resolve this. And unfortunately, some of the ways, if it's going to be a settlement, it's not going to be just, oh, you go my way, I go your way. I'm willing to resolve this, and I would hope to resolve it, but I can only hope for the best. And if not, then we fall back on court. But one of my resolutions is to hopefully, see some resolve in this situation that's been weighing me down, weighing you down. Listen, we're handling it as best as we can, and we're still, doing what we have to do. But, it just hasn't stopped de-escalating on the other side. And I've made a choice that I'm just going to continue correcting the record. If I have to go live on YouTube every day outside of this podcast to correct the record of what that guy is doing or his group is doing, I will do it, because I'm not going to allow someone to tarnish my reputation to the point of where people won't join my channel. I've got to correct the record until the court steps in and, orders this behavior to stop. If I just sit back and do nothing, then there's no purpose for us even continuing on with this podcast or any of the videos. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my resolution is, to hopefully get this resolved at some point in 2026, maybe even early on if the defendant comes to his reasoning. He's going to watch this. He watches all of our content, whatever, right? And he's going to take this and probably spin it. And then, hey, that probably tosses it out the window, but at least in good faith. And I believe in God, and to show the people, hey, we're trying to be reasonable. One of my biggest resolutions is to try to be even more reasonable than I already have been. So that's that. Anyway, your quote, babe, and then we're going to wrap this baby up.
Okay, let me get my glasses. We know I am blind. Alrighty. So my quote today is a simple one. New year, new resolve. Same soul, stronger spine. Think about that. Let me know.
New year, new resolve. Same soul, stronger spine. New year, new resolve. Same soul, stronger spine. Amen. I love your quotes. I love how you're doing that every day on the YouTube live streams.
I think I'm going to start them on the podcast.
On the podcast, absolutely. We can even show them on the screen in the future. If we can do that. We can even change the background temporarily and put it on there. Or, we can do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 1 hour and 25 minutes.
Good job.
We have time. I'm going to go do a walk after this. That doesn't matter. The podcast people just heard it. They don't even know it. They're going to be confused, whatever. Anyway, so baby, are you ready to start? Are you ready to start wrapping this up?
Yeah.
All right, it's time to now start wrapping this up. All right. You've been listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. This has been episode number 41, and the topic was resolutions for a happy 2026 New Year. One more time, episode number 41 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast was resolutions for a happy 2026 New Year. If you are listening to us on the audio-only podcast networks such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite,
iHeartRadio.
One more time.
iHeartRadio.
One more time.
iHeartRadio.
And just because it's a new year coming in, one final fourth time.
iHeartRadio.
She loves iHeartRadio. I do too. iHeartRadio is great. They're all great, but we love iHeartRadio. I listen to the podcast usually on iHeartRadio when they do it audio only. Sometimes I'll watch the video version on YouTube as a replay. Yes, I watch my own shows because I want to make sure it's a good delivery. And
and it always is a learning
experience.
Experience.
You get better when you listen back.
Absolutely.
Right. You get better in the future. So if you're listening to us on the audio only podcast network, whether it's any one of those, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible, YouTube Music, or any of the rest of the unknown networks, if you go below the description about halfway down, you'll see the link to our YouTube video. That'll redirect you back to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. You can go there, subscribe, bang the bell, and select the notifications so you don't miss anything. Then go below that description section, a couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. Subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. We go live there regularly. You won't want to miss it. Before we get out of here, happy New Year's Eve and happy 2026 New Year, everyone. Be safe and sane and don't drink and drive, right, baby?
Right.
We love you all.
Be safe and
see
sober.
you all when, baby? We'll see you all next year. See you all next year, right?
Yes.
All right. See you all next year. Yeah.